Hello, my name is Jennifer, and this is my first video to talk about the publishing process and the writing process for my first book. How many of you have decided someday I'm going to write a book? Maybe you've written something already. You could have a journal that's got a lot of really good content, and you think, gosh, I should write a book someday. Well, writing a book has been a goal of mine for a very long time, and I just didn't know really what I wanted to write. But a few years ago, terrible tragedy happened in our family. My husband passed away on February 24th of 2021. He actually passed away from the negative impacts of a lifetime of alcoholism. So that was obviously a really traumatic experience, not just at that time, but leading up to then. We were together for 20 years. In fact, he died like almost 20 years to the day from when we first started officially dating. We were friends before then. So I started journaling a lot on Caring Bridge, and then it led into my personal journal around the time that he had passed, and then afterwards. And I ended up like having a book before long. But I sat on it because it wasn't polished. It wasn't ready. I didn't know, like, to write a book, do you like walk into a publisher and say, here you go, here's all my money, make this happen? There's things called self-publishing. Do I need to get an editor first? There's a lot of questions that you have along the way. So I did some research. I finally one day I was like, okay, this is just going to happen. It's a life goal of mine. Seize the day. Now is the time. So I did my research, and I learned about hybrid publishing. And that's a service that really provides kind of an a la carte service, everything you could potentially need, everything from ghostwriting if you need that, all the way through to post-publication. So that worked for me. I thought, okay, this is what I need. For my first book, they're going to be able to provide the type of guidance that I need, but I need to make sure it's a trustworthy business. So I did some research about a couple of hybrid publishers in the Minneapolis St. Paul area. I'm in Minnesota myself, and so I like to stay local if I could. And I reached out to both of these companies through their respective websites, and they both had a little bit of a different process on introducing yourself and what you're looking to do. One of them wanted me to more or less say kind of what is my goal, what am I hoping to achieve, and the other one wanted to read a sample of my story. Both of them chose to meet with me, and the one who hadn't read anything then said, okay, well, I want to read something before we meet. So I was able to meet with both the companies, and they both thankfully provided a proposal so that I was able to make a selection for the business that really kind of spoke more to me. They're both great companies. I would recommend either one of them to anyone who's wanting to do what I'm doing. But there was one in particular that I just felt more drawn to, and that's Wise Inc. So I've gone through that first initial get your foot through the door. The next step is to have a meeting to talk about the proposal and get your project management going. There's different levels of editing that they can provide. More of an in-depth editing versus your standard editing, your basic editing, the publishing, and they can even help you with getting it on the bookshelves, getting it on Amazon, helping you with all the marketing as well. So that was a really attractive idea for me because this is so new. I'm a registered nurse by trade. For the last over 16 years, I've worked in more of a business side of nursing with an insurance company. So nothing relating to writing books, nothing relating to publishing, that sort of thing. So I'm really excited. When you have, like, there's something you need to accomplish in this world, karma, whatever you want, whatever word you want to put on it, this is something that I just felt like I really need to do. And why am I waiting? Since my husband passed away 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, I've done a lot of self-reflection. I've had some therapy. I'm in a really good place. I also have two children. My daughter was 2 years old, just barely, when her father passed, and my son was 8.5. So fast forward 3 years, we're just the three of us are in a really good place. Life is good, um, and it's time for me to move forward with my goal. After my book is out there. So my book, by the way, it's my story about, why did I marry an alcoholic? Turns out I was exposed to alcoholism as a child, and I wanted to break that cycle of alcoholism. I told myself as a teenager, don't fall into that. Don't fall into that. So while my friends might have been going to the bars or going to house parties, it really wasn't my thing. I worked a lot. I went to school. Um, I did not want to become an alcoholic. I thought if I start drinking, I'm going to really enjoy it and I'll have a problem. That was what I told myself. And so I just didn't. And now I can drink socially and I'm just fine. But I did not want to become an alcoholic. That was something that I told myself early on. And then I married an alcoholic. And I knew that I did. I knew that he was a heavy drinker. And I still stayed with him until the bitter end. And of course, I tried to get him help, tried to help him to change over the years, but unfortunately, I wasn't successful. Family tried to help him. You have to want to change, and he didn't. So you have to read the story for the rest. But back to the publishing process. So next step is I do meet with a publisher to kind of get that project going, and hopefully in the next, they say 12 to 18 months, but I'm pretty motivated. I'm gonna beat that 12 to 18 months. We'll see. I will be kind to myself through the process, and what happens along the way happens. But I sure hope that I can get it done sooner rather than later, because I have a children's book to write afterwards. Writing, kind of my story, but now in my son's perspective, because he was 8.5 when his dad died, and I captured a lot of the really thoughtful things that he said around the time that his father passed away and in his final days. So, so if you have a goal, a life goal, don't sit on it. This is your lifetime. Make change. Don't wait. And if you're looking to write a book, if you've written a book and you're sitting on it, think about what is your goal. Do you want to publish it? Or you want to help people with that? Do you want to just maybe have it published so that you have a copy because it looks pretty? And that's fine too. So figure out what your goals are and make them happen. And I'm happy to share with you my journey along the way. Stay tuned.